All right. All right. Hey, everybody. It's me, Stu Helm, the food fan, here with my co-host Rick Crelia, and we're the Asheville food fans, the two of us. Hey, Rick.
Hey, Stu.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Oh, good. You're having a good hair day, I see. That's awesome. Did you just wake up from a nap?
No, I'm going like crazy. My girlfriend just left out of town a few hours ago, so I'm doing everything right now. So feeding the dogs, eating myself, like all that.
Cool. Multitasking.
Multitasking. So
Don't accidentally eat dog food.
no. I had wonderful Tom Kha soup leftovers from Thai Pearl.
Okay.
Which I got last night, take
Nice.
out, and I had we'll get into the wings in a minute, but I had some wing leftovers. So.
Nice. Rick, can you maybe pull your mic away from your mouth just a little bit? Is that possible? Getting
There.
your beard is like scratching it or something. Yeah, I think that's better. That sounds great. Leftovers for dinner and dog food for the dog, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Good. I'm here at the WPVM studios. Rick, did you notice that?
I was about to say, I was like, man, I really like what you've done with your office.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's so hard to figure out what direction anything is when you're on these video things, because you're used to looking in a mirror, so you're used to moving in the opposite. But this is not a mirror; it's like the same. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's my left hand. So
this is my right hand. Yeah, it's weird. It's freaking me out, Rick.
Well, let's get on it, brother.
All right,
got a lot to cover.
We do, because we got some big topics. So, Rick, the first thing always is the wing thing. That's the origin of our podcast. Oh, let me introduce the podcast a little bit, assuming some people have never watched us before. But the AVL Food Fans is a video podcast hosted by WPVM, the progressive voice of the mountains here at radio station here in Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville is known as Food City, USA, or Foodtopia for some people. I remember when I used to do a radio show with my co-host Joe Scully, he rejected the name Foodtopia because he said it implied there was a fatal flaw, because there's always a fatal flaw in any utopian fiction. And I was like, oh, there's fatal flaws, brother. They're everywhere. Asheville, I think, is the greatest little food city in the country. And we had a rough year with the COVID, but we're pretty much on the other side of it now. And Rick, I've been dining in. That's what I've been doing.
Yes, you have, and I'm kind of jealous about that.
You're still not dining in?
Not yet.
Okay.
Only because of timing.
Timing.
All right. I'm being told I'm very breathy. So
breathy. You are a little breathy, bro. I mean,
and I'm not even out of breath. So let's see if I can do anything about that.
Just that mic is so close to your face hole, I think. We're still like we have.
I'm going to switch to the internal mic.
Okay, that might be better.
Is that better, Daveen?
Well, now we need you to crank up the volume, I think, or unplug your mic or your headset. Unplug your headset. This is our favorite segment of the show. We call it Technical Difficulties. Now I can't hear you at all, Rick.
Can you hear me now?
I can. You sound great. You sound awesome. That's perfect. All right. Fantastic. All right, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed that segment. Let's move on to our next segment, and that is the genesis of this podcast, the Food Fans podcast. Is we did a little one called The Wing Thing. We did about 4 or 5 episodes of it, and it focused entirely on chicken wings. And we're still doing the thing, right? We're still doing the wing thing. I hear you got a doggy in there. That's okay.
Yeah. Yes, and I think I messaged you earlier today. I had not had wings yet this past week, and so I made a point to today. I ordered some wings from Post 25.
Okay.
And I had remembered Jenny had recommended those. Jenny Townsend of Kickback.
That's right.
the tiger wings. So I got 6 of the tiger wings. I got 6 of the buffalo wings. And I have to say, Jenny was right. The tiger wings were amazing.
Yeah.
The buffalo wings were okay.
Okay.
Nothing really to write home about. But the
All
tiger wings, breaded and with a sweet, hot base flavor, were amazing. So
Breaded.
yeah,
Breaded. You say. Yeah. You don't usually go for the breaded wings.
I don't usually go, but I did today. It was great.
All right. And how was the cook? Did it come right off the bone or what?
It came right off the bone.
Nice.
Decent size.
Okay.
Really great blue cheese dipping. Really chunky blue cheese.
Nice.
The crudité was celery, carrot, pretty basic but big pieces. So
okay. You knew I was going to ask about the crudité.
I knew you were going to ask about the crudité, my friend.
That's right. It's the fanciest part of any meal is the crudité. Well, those sound great, man. And I actually can't remember if I've had the wings from Post 25 or not. I know that I really enjoy the food at Post 25. And I think I've given them awards. I think I gave their burger an award this year. The whole year
was good, and they have a nice prime rib too. So.
Do they?
Yeah.
I like a prime rib. And so you've given these pretty high marks then, although the buffalo didn't blow your mind.
Buffalo was good.
Okay.
But yeah, the tiger wings, like if you want some breaded wings, I'd put them up there with, Creekside Tap House easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at you. All right. Those are some pretty high accolades. Well, I also got wings kind of last minute. I got some wings and they were, where did I get them from?
Montford Deli, right?
Montford Deli, yes. And, oh, geez, I kicked my headphones onto the floor. I think I've talked about Montford Deli before on the show, but Montford Deli is becoming one of my favorite restaurants in all of Asheville, and it's a pretty humble establishment. Did we talk, Rick, me and you, about how we felt like people were really craving sort of like basic comfort foods after the pandemic? And I still am. So I got myself an excellent Philly cheesesteak and a hot dog and some macaroni salad and then a half dozen wings. And the wings were great. They were little tiny ones. And, I like those. And they were just pretty basic and really good. They were called buffalo, but they were kind of on the sweet chili pepper side rather than the straight up buffalo side. And I'm not sure actually if that's because I accidentally got sweet chili ones or because the buffalo ones there are more like sweet chili wings. Right. But they were super enjoyable and they came with a pretty basic blue cheese sauce. And I don't think they came with any crudité now that I think about it, Rick, which that makes me sad in retrospect.
I think because I've gotten their wings before and I think I remember that too.
Yeah, no crudité.
They were solid, but pretty basic. And, yeah.
Now the Philly, on the other hand, was not just basic. I mean, it was, which was part of what made it great. A really good Philly, in my opinion, is pretty dang basic. Like it doesn't have a lot of stuff added to it. And this one had some peppers in the mix with the onions and the meat and the cheese.
That's cool.
That was it, man. And
no cheese whiz?
No cheese whiz. It was provolone, which is one of the 3 acceptable cheeses on an authentic Philly.
I have a friend in Philly, and they're always like, "It's all about the whiz, man."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "No."
Well, I'll eat it with some cheese whiz. There is one in town that you can order it with cheese whiz. I forget where that is, but I'm gonna hit it up for sure. I didn't grow up eating cheese whiz. It was like kind of not an acceptable food product for my parents at the time. But
it's like liquefied American cheese, basically. So yeah.
I mean, there's nothing about it I wouldn't eat because I eat American cheese and I eat stuff that you spray out of a can, like Ready Whip and whatnot. So I'm not, man, I put so much trashy food in my face. I don't even care anymore, Rick. I'm like a nihilist. I'm like an eater nihilist. Just give me cheese whiz. I don't even care. But I've never had a Philly with cheese whiz. And so I'm looking forward.
I haven't either. So yeah.
And here's my thing about it. If you're going to make a Philly with provolone, which, like I said, I think there's 3 acceptable cheeses, and provolone is one of them. But for me, it's my third preference, right? although I've never had the cheese whiz, so I'm just imagining I would like it better than the provolone. But the provolone on this one from the Montfort Deli was just thoroughly melted like into the meat. It was not just like laid on top and kind of melted like provolone can sometimes be, but it was like right into the meat and soaked into the bun as well. And boy, howdy, Rick, it was really good. I ate it for lunch and dinner. Of course, I had like half a Philly, half a hot dog, and 3 chicken wings for lunch, and then repeated myself at dinner. And the hot dog was really good too. It was kind of a thicker hot dog. I'm not sure what brand they use. Maybe Nathan's or something. It was a pretty high quality hot dog, I thought. And I got it Carolina style. You know what that means, right?
Oh yeah, chili, coleslaw, mustard, onions.
Yeah, this was just the coleslaw, but you're right. Like any and all of those things are something that around here they will claim is Carolina style.
Yeah.
I think that's funny.
It's pretty good. I mean,
I love it.
Regardless of the legitimacy of the nomenclature, it's really good. So.
It is really good. But what's funny to me about it is like I'm from up north and we coleslaw up there, man. Believe me. And we put it on hot dogs and stuff. And so
we call them slaw dogs, right?
What's that?
We call them slaw dogs.
Slaw dog. Yeah, I like that. It's like straw dogs. There's a famous movie with Al Pacino, I think. But yeah, it was good old slaw dog and a chili cheese dog and onions and chili on a hot dog with mustard. That's all. Up in Michigan, you get this thing called the Coney dog. I think I've mentioned it before on the show that has beef heart chili and raw onions and mustard. And that's an authentic Coney right there. And it's freaking good, man.
It's
like,
named after Coney Island?
Yeah, totally. And the reason that they're so popular up in Michigan has something to do with the World's Fair. Like they were popularized up there and then they stuck. And when you're up there, everywhere you look, it's like Coney dogs. And I'm like, what the hell? And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Now I know.
Rick, one of the things that made this Philly really good at the dinner time when I reheated it for dinner was I put some of that Gerwer's curry ketchup on it.
Mm-hmm.
Squirted that stuff on there. And man, that added like a whole extra level of awesomeness to it. So I'm becoming a huge fan of this curried ketchup. I think
curried ketchup has its places, and when it shows up for those places, it rocks. So
I'm starting to think it's good on any kind of meat. Like you could put that on, yeah, like put that on any kind of meat and it'd be good. So I'm glad I got it, and I'm looking forward to squirting that stuff on just about everything.
Here's a pro tip.
Okay. I like those.
Curry ketchup and sweet potato fries.
All right. That sounds like a winner, actually. Yeah, that sounds great.
There's something, the curry brings the sweetness of the ketchup down to the point where it blends better with the sweetness of the sweet potato fries.
Okay. Well, Rick, is that our wing thing episode for today? Yeah. Oh, well, we used to try to pick a wing place and we would both get the wings from the same place. Back in the day when we were organized.
Yeah.
Do you want?
We're running out of places, my friend.
Oh no. Wings are everywhere. We gotta even scratch the surface. Yeah, well, I'm willing to get out of the house now, and people are around. Give me rides.
I would meet you out for wings in a restaurant somewhere.
Let's do that. Let's meet downtown next week before the show sometime and get some wings, and we'll pick a place off camera. And we'll make sure they have wings on the day we're downtown, and we'll have a wing sit down.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll embarrass everybody by doing our wings up. Wings up. What is it? Oh, it's like this. Wings up. I don't even know our own secret hand signal. That's how secret it is, Rick. So all right, we'll pick some wings. We'll eat out. We'll report back to the people. But I think that our wing rate is pretty good. Like we're batting, I don't know baseball stats, so I'll just say I'd say 85% of the wings we've had are from real good to great.
Yeah, I would agree.
Maybe 10% are mediocre and 5% or less have been like turds.
Yeah.
All right. We agree on that. Yeah. This is not a scientific survey, though.
Well, it is Asheville after all. Like, I mean,
The food is good.
Good quality food. So.
Yeah, man. Somebody asked me I wrote a little sort of Facebook review of the Philly and the hot dog and everything. Oh, I forgot to mention the macaroni salad was also excellent. I recommend it. Very basic, like church picnic style, like a creamy style. But yeah, I wrote a nice write-up of it, and somebody was like, "Do you ever write bad reviews, man?" And I was like, "No, actually I don't, because they hurt a business pretty bad, and food reviews are just opinions, and something I hate, somebody else loves. So I used to write bad reviews, but because people really like bad reviews, they get a lot of attention. Sure. Yeah, they get tons of attention. But yeah, and if you write them a certain way, they can be really hilarious. Like I used to go for the jugular vein with my jokes when it would come to the rest. Like I was merciless, man. And I admit, like, I kind of cringe when I read those old reviews because they are so harsh, and they were funny though. Like people really liked them. That's how I made my bones as a food writer. Probably nobody would have paid attention to me if I started out just by writing.
Well, yeah. I mean, you kind of want to walk in a place and people go, "Oh, it's stew."
Yeah, people still want to impress me. I'm happy to say that they're like, "Oh, stew's here." And that always is cool, man. And speaking of that, I did my first private food tour of the season, and my first one in over a year, and I did it yesterday.
Back in the saddle.
Yeah, baby, and it felt so good. It was just a little tour of 6 people, 6 friends, all vaccinated, so it was all good. And we had a ton of great food, man. I'll cover it. Should we get right into What'd You Eat? That's one of our segments. Okay, we'll do What'd You Eat. So we started with beignets from Beignets. Have you had those yet?
No, but I was told that your pictures of them are possibly illegal.
They are perhaps going to be illegal. There's a lot of white powder involved, as a matter of fact. The confectionery sugar, they put about a half a pound of confectionery sugar on these things. And but yeah, beignets are about yay big, about the size of a large Weetabix or whatever. But they cut them into fingers, they call them, if you want them that way. And so we started our tour with a plate of finger. Like we started with dessert, and then, man, straight out of the deep fryer, it's almost nothing as good as a beignet. I mean, whole donuts. You're a fan of whole, I assume?
I am too big of a fan of whole.
Okay. Whole is amazing. Donuts, like really good donuts, straight out of the fryer.
So when people visit and either ask for recommendations or I take them someplace, I take them to usually these places. Beignet on Eagle, if they got money. Whole, and then of course the whole Smoky Park Club ensemble thing, because that's a real nice spot. By the way,
oh, you're a good host, man. You take them nice places.
Right.
I'm all like, let's order Rockies.
I've taken people to Rockies too. So.
Rockies is awesome. Ain't nothing wrong with Rockies, man. So the beignets we started with were great. Everybody loved them. And then we went to Nani's Chicken, and we got the chicken salad. Now, did you see the pictures I posted of the chicken salad?
I did.
Man, oh man, like I'm not a person to rave about chicken salad, right? Like this probably be the 3rd time in my life I've been like, that was great chicken salad. But I had heard, somebody told me like it's the best chicken salad in Asheville. And I was like, all right, whatever that means. And I went, and man, this is the best chicken salad I think I've ever had. So
wow.
5 out of 5 stars for that.
You know, their chicken is off the hook. Like
I think so too.
It's I'm gonna go try that now. So
okay, yeah, for like in the summertime when it's kind of too hot for rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken salad is good. And you put that on a brioche type bun or something like that. It'd be real good.
I'll get a French loaf from Whisk.
Yeah, there you go. But Nani's also makes their own in-house bread, which is fantastic.
They do. So I've had the flatbread that comes with the rotisserie chicken. That's very good. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah. And then we went to Baba Nam, And I kind of did some recon on these places before the tour. So I had gone to Baba Nam just the day before and gotten, or on Sunday, and they had do a Sunday brunch, which is kind of under the radar. So there's a tip for all the viewers out there.
It is. Yeah.
And I got like a Baba bowl with some bacon and potatoes, and the bowl had spanakopita, 2 really nice pieces of spanakopita, and then the hummus and the tahini and all of that Middle Eastern goodness that Baba
With
is
bacon.
with bacon, yeah, because it was, I guess, brunch, you know, and bacon was an add-on, and I was like, hell yeah, add that on. And then the potatoes were part of it to make it brunchy and stuff. And man, it was really good. And I am not known for eating healthy food. And this was one of the healthier meals I've had. And it was really, I crushed it, man. I crushed it.
I'm ashamed to say I haven't been there yet.
Got to do it, Rick. I mean, do you like Middle Eastern food?
If I could eat Middle Eastern food, either like Palestinian, Lebanese, or Indian, or even Indian food, like a few times a week, I'd be so happy.
Yeah, it's so much flavor, and it does have sort of a healthy feel to it because a lot of fresh vegetables and a lot of vegetarian options. And when we stopped in with the food tour, we didn't get the breakfast bowl. We got they gave us a little sample of, they make I think it's called a kibbeh meatball. Could be wrong. It's a meatball, that much I know. And it's like a mixture of beef and lamb, and it has some some falafel stuff in the mix of it. But they served that to the tour, and it was really flavorful and really good. So I recommend the meat and the vegetarian dishes at Baba. And then we popped into Blue Dream Curry House, and man, they've got a brand new curry on the menu. Like, it was cool. Usually I actually forget the name of it, Rick, but it's new, so it's the only new one, I think. Yeah. And it has smoked tamarind in it that gives it a really unique flavor. Yeah.
They have amazing curry. So.
I really like their curries. I think they lean, for my tastes, in a good way, they lean heavy on the coconut milk, and I love coconut milk, and their curry dishes taste really creamy and milky to me, so I really like that.
My favorite curry there is it's a British curry.
I know the one. It's their masala, isn't it?
No, I think it begins with an R.
Oh. They have a British one that's like a little less spicy and a little more sweet and creamy.
Yeah, this one I've had both ways.
Okay.
I had a girlfriend in Seattle that used to make it because she was, it was popular in the Netherlands, and she was Dutch. So, but I keep wanting to say arugula, but that's a confection. Anyway, rendang, beef rendang.
Oh, okay. Never heard of that, actually.
Yeah, and they have a really nice rendang curry.
All right, I'll try that next time I'm there. Blue Dream Curry, I really like it. Like, the people are really friendly. The atmosphere is really good, and
it's a great. And it's really well located. So.
Yeah, agree. And then we went to Manicomio and got their smoky artichoke and tomato pizza, which I think I've mentioned like 5 times on this show, and 1,000,000 times in my entire lifetime. Yeah, it's really good. The tour takers by this time are getting really full, and they're enjoying the food a lot. And then we popped into Twisted Laurel, and I told Chef Tom, because it was a cold and rainy day, I told Chef Tom, make us some comfort food. And he busted out a lump crab mac and cheese, and it was really good. Yeah, it was really good. And then he was hanging out with us, and he was telling us that they make their own pasta there now at Twisted Laurel, like from scratch. And he said, and we just make it into different shapes and stuff. And I asked him what his favorite shape was, and he named it. Now I can't remember what it was myself. Is Capoletti? Is that a type of like small tubular pasta? It's kind of shaped like penne, but more narrow tube.
Maybe I can't know what penne is, and I know what like rigatoni is and stuff like that, but I don't know Capoletti.
So, but it's a kind of pasta that's like a skinnier tube than a rigatoni, right. And he was like, "Oh, that's my favorite." Blah blah blah. And then he sees a server, and he's like, "Hey, but order up a plate of that Capoletti or whatever it was. And so then he brought a fresh, hot, steaming plate of this out for the tour, and we divvied it up. And I forgot to save some for myself, so I didn't actually try that one.
Oh man!
The people on the tour were like, "That was actually one of the best bites on the whole tour, right there." Right. So now I'm dying to go back and try that one. He's about to add it to the menu. So Chef Tom, his last name is LaFauci. So he's Italian. He likes to cook Italian food, and he makes his own pasta. And he's just starting to introduce the house-made pastas.
Okay, that's. I will definitely check that out. So.
Yeah, and then I pulled a move that was like a genuine let's try this type of move. We were walking back to where we started. I was going to buy him a brownie at the Session Cafe to give him a little sugar at the end of the thing. But we're walking past the Benjamin Wall Art Gallery there on Broadway near the Charmer. And I was like, I heard they have wine and chocolate in here. You guys want to see if they'll give us some? And they were all like, oh. And so we walk in, and lo and behold, a friend of mine is working there. And she's like, yeah, we got wine and chocolate. Come on back. And, man, they got a snazzy little wine and chocolate bar in the back of that art gallery. They got one of those things where the wine comes out of a spigot. Like you purchase a card, and you put the card in the thing, and you press, I want 2 ounces or whatever. Right. Exactly 2 ounces comes out. And then they got chocolates by Asheville Chocolates, and they'll pair you up with a chocolate with your wine and stuff like that. And
that sounds wonderful.
It was really cool, and they styled my tour takers out.
And what's the name of it?
It's called the Benjamin Wall Art Gallery, and he does photography. Yeah, he's a photographer. Okay. It's pretty.
I'm going to be going down probably this weekend. I have a buddy, my friend Zach Noble, who's a artist blacksmith. He has a show running now in Blue Spiral, and I want to go down and see it. So
I love Blue Spiral. That's a great art gallery, man.
Yeah, and his work is amazing. If you're into sculpture, it's amazing. So
I am. I'll go check it out. I honestly really love Blue Spiral. When I used to do food tours, if we had some time to kill, we'd always go into Blue Spiral and walk around a little bit. And, the tour takers are not necessarily art lovers, right? And so, but they always love Blue Spiral because, I don't know, the general public doesn't always know. They feel intimidated by art galleries sometimes.
Sure.
But if you go there,
welcoming. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the art is accessible there as well as artistic. It's not just crap. Not just LCD, lowest common denominator crap. All right, Rick. So what else did I eat? I think I covered it all. I actually don't have my notes in front of me anymore. Let's see if I can call them up on Facebook. La-di-da. Do you have the notes? All right, I'm almost there. Oops, I don't have them. All right, Rick. I don't have my notes. So I ate at the Montfort Deli. That was about it, I think. And let's do what did you eat, Rick? Where'd you eat, and then what'd you cook?
All right, let me see here. Okay. I didn't do any extracurricular cooking or eating this week. A lot of pretty basic stuff. I think we got pizza one night from Del Vecchio's.
Ooh, Del Vecchio's. Did you get that through Kickback?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
I'm in Canada, dude. I don't drive into town to pick up food. So
yeah.
I don't do that. But I did do it yesterday because I was in town at Thai Pearl. But and then what else have we had? That was the main thing that stuck out. We had their Sicilian pizza for the first time.
Ooh, how was it?
It was fantastic. Like really nice, crispy edge pieces. Mm-hmm. Like you want a Sicilian to be, because it's a thicker crust, right? It's
It's like a pan.
But it's not soggy thick like a Chicago style.
No, pizza. It's different.
And, it's crispy, and it was perfect. Like it was like we were both like, yes, we're gonna. This is like we have 3 pizzas that we get. We get the Italian combo from Galactic. We get the Supreme from Manicomio, and now we're doing the There you go. And now we're doing the Sicilian from Delvecchio's. So,
Rick, you're like the consummate eater because you spread the love around. You got a favorite pizza at like 3 different pizza places. And I mean, you're really a good local eater. And I mean that sincerely. I'm not
well,
just.
it's you got to support your local artists. So.
You do, and you got to spread the love around. And I have favorites, but I don't just eat at them every day. I spread the love around, and that's how you find new favorites, for one thing.
It is.
Galactic is way the F out there in West Asheville, eh?
It's right next door to Sandhill Kitchen. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, the hinterlands,
Yeah.
what they call it.
Which is downtown for where I live. But anyway, yeah.
I call it like past outside of Hobbitville, outside the Shire, into Bree. You're in Bree where there's humans.
Well, I'll send Gandalf over to your place when we have a party and say, tell Stuart and Dawn to come out to Candler.
Yeah, I've been out there, man. Y'all got more and more good food out there all the time.
Yeah, we're getting there. So.
Well, I did some cooking this week, if you can believe it, Rick.
Yeah, let's hear about that.
Well, Dawn and I belong to this thing called the Patchwork Alliance, and I think I've described it before. It's a farming alliance, and Patchwork Network Farms. They're urban farms around Asheville inside city limits. You can sign up with them to have your yard kind of converted into farmland, and they'll actually farm it for you, and you'll get some of the food, but not all of it. And the rest of it, some of the food is donated to people who need food, and the rest is sold. And it's partly sold through this website called the Patchwork Alliance online marketplace. And so we belong to that, and we got our first box of stuff. And we got some frozen shrimp from the coast, and then we got some fresh greens, like 3 kinds of fresh lettuce greens and stuff, and then some bread from West End Bakery, and I think there was another item or 2 in there, but some farm fresh eggs, and the greens were awesome. Like Dawn says, she's never buying greens from anywhere else again.
Oh wow!
Yeah, as long as they're in season.
Like braising greens or salad greens?
Salad greens.
Okay.
Yeah. And they lasted longer than the greens she usually gets from the grocery store, and the flavor just popped a lot more, and there was they just were nicer all around. And the shrimp was delicious, and I made an omelet one day with some of the shrimp, and we also got some asparagus that was beautiful. And so I would recommend it to people who live here in Asheville. The Patchwork Alliance, you can look it up online, and it's a farmers co-op. Basically, it's run by
pickup or delivery.
You can pick up or deliver, and the delivery is like $5 extra, I believe.
Okay.
And we opted for delivery just because we're delivery people. And
you're kind of in the heart of town too, so that helps.
Yeah, totally. So again, if people are interested in supporting like a really cool farmers initiative, the Patchwork Alliance is the thing. And they have other things on there too, like beauty products, local beauty products, health and beauty type things. And you can even hire a handyman by the hour through their website, like a local handyman. And you just pay with your credit card for X number of hours right there while you're shopping for your groceries. And you describe the job you need done and stuff. So it's pretty cool service. I really like unique food related services. So I really like Patchwork.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
And the food we made was really delicious. We made some lettuce and shrimp wraps one night that were really good. And with, the lettuce as the wrap. And then we made that omelet the next night. So really nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I did some cooking, Rick. Not typical for me, but there you go. I typically cook some peanut butter crackers. That would be my dinner. I'm addicted to saltines. Have I mentioned that to you?
Oh, you haven't. This is a new thing.
No, it's like a lifelong thing. I'll eat just about anything crispy that comes in a column. So a column of saltines, I'm all about it. A column of Ritz when they used to
Pringles.
I love me some Pringles. I was forbidden to eat Pringles for a certain period of my childhood because I ate them so rapidly and ferociously that I almost choked to death on like a clod of Pringles in my throat. My parents were like, "No more Pringles for you, my friend."
Wow.
Yeah, and so then when I was a teenager, it was like nobody's stopping me. Pringles. And I think I mentioned to you and Luis last week that I found an organic brand of potato crisp that tastes almost exactly.
Oh yes, you did. You did.
Yeah,
That's why I must have thought to ask that. So
yeah, and so yeah, I'm addicted to saltines. I will eat a whole column of saltines while I'm watching TV. Dawn has to like put a check on it. She's like, there's a lot of salt in those things, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then like peanut butter saltine. Just like,
have you? Does Dawn know the 4 food groups for men?
I don't know. Do I know the 4 food groups for men, Rick?
You ever watch Red Green, the Canadian comic?
No, I never have.
Hilarious. He's like a man's man, but not really. But the 4 food groups for men are salt, meat, fat, and beer.
Oh man, I'm down to 3 unless I can substitute coffee for beer.
Yeah.
Oh, getting a note from our producer. Let's segue into the food news, and because we got some. Well, let's do Food Fam, which is more national food news, because we hope to capture somewhat of a national audience for our very entertaining podcast.
I do want to wait one call out because I did cook some things, but it wasn't a particular thing. But our local the Inca Candler tailgate market opened up, so we're not a year-round farmers market like North Asheville or even downtown or whatever. But yeah, it was Jake's Farm, organic farm. Like I made so much of their stuff in the last week just for different things like greens and potatoes, or not potatoes. They had nettles, and yeah, just wonderful. So,
did you get those nettles? Because Luis was telling you they help allergies.
I did.
And
yes,
did they work?
Yes,
they did.
Yes,
Dr. Luis.
Dr. Luis. So
holy moly! And I should mention Luis is our tertiary sometime co-host.
Yes,
and he's not here tonight. Today is his daughter's birthday, so happy birthday to the daughter of Luis. Yes. I don't know her name.
Yeah, I had to try that out after you mentioned it, and sure enough, it did help. It's it's not as dramatic as like a Benadryl or a Zyrtec or something like that.
Okay,
but it's also not any of those chemicals.
Okay. So. All right, man. I'll try. I seem to be over my allergies right now. Did I already tell you? What's that?
I said you're lucky.
Yeah. Well, they could come back depending on what decides to sprout some flowers and throw its ovaries out into the world. Getting plant sex on me. Okay, Rick. One tiny piece of local news, and then let's talk about Chipotle's. The local news is I just want to make everybody aware in advance that Juneteenth is coming up, which is a national holiday. But here in Asheville, there's a pretty big event that's being planned around Juneteenth, and it's going to take partly at Martin Luther King Park, but also on Depot Street, right in my neighborhood around Grind Coffee House. And it's going to be
right on.
First annual Grind Fest, and the Black Wall Street will be celebrated, and Juneteenth will be celebrated. And I watched an awesome, very funny and charming video made by the guys who run Grind, and they were saying it's going to be the blackest weekend in Asheville, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So a shout out for that. I'm going to try to get them to do an interview with me for next week's podcast. So we'll see.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of upcoming local news. Now let's talk about Chipotle.
Let's talk about Chipotle.
Yeah, Rick, you read the article I sent you, right?
I did. And I loved your commentary in response. It's all I can say is, having lived in a city where they did raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and there was a lot of resistance similar to what was expressed in that article.
Mm-hmm.
It was a roaring success.
Roaring success.
This was in Seattle. So
yeah, right. The West Coast started to do it a while ago, and I think San Francisco, it's about to happen. Not sure, but I think they're about to implement a $15
I think it's
minimum.
Seattle, New York, maybe one other city, if not San Francisco already.
So they're kind of bracing themselves for that to happen, in those cities. And in the meantime, it was this article, which I had a lot of issues with the way the article was written. And I found there was a lot of gaslighting going on in this article. And because the headline was Chipotle minimum wage hike to $15 deals psychological blow to the restaurant industry, is according to some top analyst, right?
Right.
Now, right there in the headline, $15 minimum wage. And then when you read the article, it's actually a $15 average wage.
Right.
Which is different.
Yeah.
Much different. And so right there, it's like the headline trying to gaslight the workers in a way. And then it went on to say, this is a quote, Chipotle's minimum wage hike could spell profit doom for rivals that are forced to follow suit to retain workers while also lacking compelling menus, blah, blah, blah. Like Chipotle's has some sort of wildly compelling menu that makes it different than TGI Fridays or something, right? But I love in the first paragraph of this article, they use the word doom, which I have noticed the word doom tied to the restaurant industry in the mainstream media for the entire COVID time. Like they've been predicting the doom and death of the restaurant industry since like May 1st of 2020. Sure. And it just gets so tiring. Can we not use that same pessimistic language over and over again?
Well, they gotta sell clicks or papers or whatever. And yeah.
Yep. And profit doom is something that, I guess corporations shudder in their boots about profit doom,
Oh yeah. I mean, because capitalism, what's the sacred cow of capitalism? It is profit at any cost.
Yeah. And then let's see. So there were some comment. This article got shared on the food and beverage tribe page, where a lot of the workers hang out on Facebook, and there's great discussions going on. Complaining goes on. Some mean stuff goes on, and some people find it too much to bear. But I really like to read what the workers are thinking, and so like. People pointed out that there's a difference between a minimum wage and an average wage. And people pointed out that they kept saying that this wage inflation was going to hurt the restaurant industry. And they over and over in this article, they used the term wage inflation, and they even called it yawning wage inflation. Yeah. And somebody said very rightfully, they were like, so they keep our wages pretty much the same for 30 years. And then when we demand something be done about it, they call it inflation, like a balloon or whatever, like it's called fair wages that people are demanding. I don't know. The language is irritating to me.
Yeah, it reeks of propaganda.
It does. Somebody commented, this sounds like Chipotle wrote this article. And then like they use the term human capital, which I'm sure is just an industry insider term, but it's offensive. And it's offensive to the workers. And they pointed out like human capital, what a disgusting term. It is a disgusting term. And sure, go ahead and use it in your corporate meetings to describe your workers. But in an article that's being released to the public, the workers are not pleased by that kind of language. No. That's for sure. Who would be?
And it's a nice word for human cattle.
Yeah, that's exactly what Dawn said. That's what my girlfriend said. She was like, they mean human cattle. And I was like, yeah, man, like it's really bad. And the article just kind of went on and on about the psychological impact it was going to have on these corporations. Again, this idea that a corporation is a person. I guess we're talking
corporations.
Yeah. And I guess the idea was that the investors are going to be so freaked out for some reason that they're going to do freaky deaky things that are going to ruin capitalism for everybody because they don't know how to handle wage inflation and profit doom. And they're going to have a psychological freak out if the workers don't snap in line and get back to work. And then let me just read, I know that reading is a little boring, but let me just read the final part of the article because it said, let's see, it said something about how, well, I can't really find it, but it said basically that because of the government unemployment check, that things ain't going to be right until September when that ends. So it was like this light at the end of the tunnel for corporations, right? Like, oh, the government check is going to end and then everything will snap back into place. And then I looked up, well, what is the average payment right now? The highest payment you can receive in North Carolina is $350.
Yeah.
The average payment is something like $265 or something like that. And so if the corporations are saying they need to wait for people to stop making $350 a week before they're going to be able to hire people, that's just an admission that their business model is terrible.
Right.
$350 a week is nothing.
I was reading an article just a couple of days ago that was like, well, where are we? You know, people are saying this, nobody wants to work, like blah, 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 blah. You look at the unemployment numbers, they're not bad. They're actually just as good as they were before the pandemic. And it's like, well, other people who are paying employees more are getting those employees, and you're not, because you won't change the way you do business.
Right. And you just rather complain.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, those people can just like ride it out.
And you know, the fact is that if you want to pay employees more, the menu prices are going to go up. I'm specifically in the restaurant industry. And that's something I'm willing to bear, you know, as a frequent eater, somebody who spends a lot of money in the restaurants, somebody who updates menus all the time for kickback. I see the prices go up all the time. They go up by $2, you know, for something. And part of me is like, man, I should order this now before I update the menu. Get the insider info. And but I see the prices going up, so I know that's a reality. But I don't care, you know, like prices are prices. You're either going to pay them or not. And if you don't want to pay restaurant prices, you're going to have to cook at home. And if you don't want to cook at home, you're going to have to pay restaurant prices. Yeah. And if you want workers to be paid fair, you're going to have to suck it up a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And it's, I mean, we are in this period of late stage capitalism where the inequity is now being felt by the property owners. And I think you had a commentary on one of your quotes, like insert world's smallest violin sound.
I did.
You know what, man? Guess what? Get over it. You'll survive.
You'll survive. Yeah. Well, it's like this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but owning a piece of property and collecting rent on it is just about the easiest way to make a living, in my opinion. I mean, you could sell alcohol and that'd be a little bit easier. And you could sell drugs on the corner. That'd be super easy. But I know that being a landlord requires a lot of stuff. There's a lot of rules and regulations. You got to fix the house. You can't just let things fall apart. I've had friends that thought it was going to be easy to be a landlord, and it turned into being a nightmare for them.
Sure.
But we have property owners in this town that have owned a cherry piece of property right in the middle of downtown, have bought it for a song back in the day, made money hand over fist for 20 years, and then they complain about the fact that they can't sell a landmark to a hotel because then they don't get to make their gajillion-dollar profit off of it. And I know, like, I'm saying sacrilegious things here in America where profit is the goal, and if you got to maximize your profit no matter what. But I'm at a point where I'm like, why? You know, you got it made, man. Like, you owned a cherry building for 20 years and people paid you rent those whole 20 years. And people are like, well, you know, it had to be updated and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like that's part of the cost of doing business. Like the property had to be updated, like the plumbing.
And it's like there's nothing special about any of that. And it's that's America today. I don't think that's necessarily it's going to stay that way for much longer, but I think people are used to the gravy train, and I think the gravy train is drying up because people are done, you know.
Yeah. Inequity is, I think, you know, just like a huge problem in this country. There's plenty
if we
of
get universal health care, we might get a bump in personal income enough to where we spend more, but then prices just keep going up. They never really go down anymore.
Ooh, Rick, that reminds me, some prices went down. I was updating some menus and some prices went down. And I was like, I wonder what that's all about. And I don't want to mention specific restaurants and stuff like that, but I was doing some updates and some of the prices were going up $1 or $2 and some were going down $1 or $2.
Well, that's a good sign. That's healthy, right?
I agree.
It should be both.
Yes. And to me, it told me, well, this is a very thoughtful owner who's really assessing the cost of each dish, and like, hey, this dish is actually costing us less this month than it did last month. And we're having to raise the prices over here. And we do have a customer base that we want to keep. And so let's lower these prices here. Now, I did take a screen grab of their menu just in case they come back at me and they're like, what? All of our prices are too low. And I'm like, that's the menu you sent me. And then they're like, oops, that was like last month's menu or something.
Okay, there you go.
So it could all be a dream, Rick, but I swear to God, some prices went down.
Living the socialist dream there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I wish.
Me too.
Let's quickly talk about the gas shortage because that's certainly impacting the food business. You got gas in your car?
I do. I actually spent all too brief of a time down in Georgia this weekend, seeing my favorite mom. Not my mom's been gone for like 20 years, but so I went down and saw them and came back and made sure. And while I was there, the whole hack news came out, and I was like, okay, when I get back to Asheville Sunday evening, I'm going to fill up. Yeah. And I did, and there was no panic then. And then, like the next day,
yeah.
Wait, Jesus.
How many garbage bags did you fill up with gas? You see these pictures on the internet?
It's the whole milk sandwich crew, man. It's like in the winter here when it was like snow threatens. I'm like, I grew up, we'd have a foot or two of snow. Like, we didn't go out and buy milk sandwiches.
No.
Like, here, it's just like people are like,
panic. We're like the most panicky people, I swear, man.
It's weird.
Panic over anything. And like somebody, of course, asked the pertinent question: How the hell are you getting that gasoline back out of those garbage bags, man? Are you gonna bite a hole in the corner and stick it in your gas tank?
Like a pastry bag, right?
Yeah, pastry bag style. Exactly, man. Holy moly, people kill me. But it's real. The gas crunch. Did you see that Vivian opted not to open because they couldn't?
I saw that. That was interesting.
Yeah. So
who
Vivian,
did they deliver through?
I don't know, but they are strictly farm to table. So like Cheney Brothers and the people who are delivering, the big delivery people, they're still going strong because I saw some posts that were like, thank God for Cheney Brothers and Cheney Brothers for the win and stuff like that. So it must be the smaller farm delivery people are having trouble sourcing gas, Yeah. And so Vivian, one of our best little boutique, amazing restaurants, posted that they were not going to be opening today. I hope that doesn't last more than a day, Yeah,
it could be. I'm expecting by next Tuesday, Wednesday, it'll all be back to normal. But
yeah, they fixed the hack apparently. So the hack
they paid the ransomware guys $5 million.
Did they?
They did.
See that. Well, last I heard the news, they weren't divulging whether they had paid or not.
It came out today.
$5 million. Rick, aren't you some sort of computer guy? Can't we do that?
It's to fix their level of problems at both because it was just their corporate billing systems that were hacked. It wasn't their pipeline control systems.
Weird.
But to harden the whole thing, you're talking easily $50 million.
Yeah.
So for them, they're like, okay, we can not do that. And then every few years we pay $5 million and we disrupt 50% of the gasoline supply on the East Coast. Yeah, we'll do that.
Rick, I think you misunderstood my question that you were going to save the day with your computer skills. I was suggesting that you and
I'm saying I know enough to know that fixing their level of problem would cost 10 times what they paid those people.
But I'm suggesting we cause the level of problem and we get the $5 million ransom. That's what I want. Rick,
You're going to
totally wrong.
You're going to obfuscate them.
Yeah.
Just fractions of a penny on every transaction.
Do you know that fuel travels 5 miles an hour through that pipe? So even after it's fixed, it takes like ass long to get down here and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's going to take a while.
And so
I've seen other people pointing out that this is just like some sort of scapegoat cover story because it's just coming out that like 4 months ago they had a leak in their pipeline in eastern North Carolina, and they dumped 1.5 million gallons into a residential area.
Is that true?
It is true.
Jesus.
And it was discovered by some teenagers. And it's been under the radar until like 48 hours ago. So.
Damn, man. I didn't get an update from Q about that.
Q?
From Q.
No, this was legit. Like there's like NPR stories and stuff.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they came for it. I think they were trying to keep it quiet as they cleaned it up.
Damn. All right. Rick,
over 1 million gallons.
What's that?
Over 1 million gallons of gasoline into a residential area.
Oh my God.
Somewhere in like Wilmington or something, I think. So,
dude, what kind of a world are we living in, man?
It's not a good one, I don't think. But,
we're
going to survive. We're going to be the cockroaches of the new way.
I hope so.
All right.
I feel like being small is to my advantage in the apocalypse because small creatures survived the dinosaurs and all of that.
Yeah, nooks and crannies.
That's right. I'll hide between a breeze block and a rock if I need to, and nobody will find me. I'll be like a weed. Rick, well, we're coming up on the end of the show. We got about 3 minutes left. Is there anything you want to shout out to any food that you think I should try? Let me ask you that. You're going to suggest a restaurant to me, Rick. One I've never been to. Can you do that?
Man, put me on the spot here.
Yeah.
Have you been to Griff's?
I have not. Boom.
Tim Candler.
Yeah.
Tim Candler. It's in there's like a little strip mall that has the library. And they do an amazing burger. Now, it is a $20 burger.
Oh, that's average.
But it's ground, I believe it's ground chuck and maybe some ribeye in there, and I think it might even be hickory nut gap. And
nice.
We ordered it, and it was amazing.
All right, man. Griff's Kitchen,
and they're now open for dine-in. So we haven't gone there yet. They were going to open last year right before the pandemic hit, and then everything got weird. So
yeah, brand new place.
Their burgers are top. Definitely top 10 in Asheville, maybe even top 5.
All right. We have them on Kickback, so I can order some for delivery. It's going to cost me like $50 for the delivery fee from Mordor or whatever, like way out there.
Yeah, well, you can always do your celebrity discount.
I wish, Rick. Tell me, I forget my celebrity discount code number, so I'll get that.
STU.
Yeah, right. Stu Helm, y'all. Come on, it's me, Stu Helm. I tried that today with Luella's. We went to Luella's barbecue, and I was like, I'm coming in. Did they care, Rick? No, they didn't care. They didn't care at all. I am going to Zambra tonight, though. Right after the show, I'm walking over to Zambra.
Oh, fantastic.
Zambra, one of our best fancy restaurants in town. And I did text the owner and the chef, and I was like, we're coming in. And they got back to me. They were like, oh, great. So
taking your mom?
No, me and Dawn and our friend Tema. And nice. Tema's a good eater. She likes good food. And so we're looking forward to that.
There you go.
All right, Rick. Well, thanks for being on the show with me, man. We got a wing assignment for next week, and we're going to meet up to eat those wings.
Yeah. Might even be my first dine-in experience since the pandemic.
I would love that. That would be great. Well, thanks again for being here, and thanks to anybody who was listening during our we were live on Facebook today. Did you know that this was like live this whole time?
I did not.
There you go. Maybe I should have told you. Maybe something legally.
Maybe so. Yeah.
All right.
It's we're going to go live in 20 minutes. Can you join?